Yeah, recently I have started reading one or two books on my own because I was really missing of that reading by ourselves, like where you just dwell on the things and pages and things like that and go by your own pace. So I think let's start. It's already 7:07. I don't know.
Yeah.
People are not there. Yeah. So yeah. Would you? Anyone of you would like to read?
Uh, I'm on a listening mode because I'm working, so I don't think I'll
Okay.
be able to
No
do
problem.
both of
Yeah.
them together.
Yeah, I will read.
Yeah. You want to read, Rajesh? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
just. Okay. Okay. Cool. Yeah. You start then.
Mhm. Okay. Hey, good morning, everyone. Let's start our new book, The Courage to Be Disliked, the Japanese phenomenon that shows you how to change your life and achieve real happiness. Ichiro Kishimi and Fumite Koga. Author's note. Okay, Mansi, are you recording?
Yes. Yes. I've started.
Okay, author's note. Sigmund Freud, Carl Jung, and Alfred Adler are all giants in the world of psychology. This book is distillation of Adler's philosophical and psychological ideas and teachings, taking the form of a narrative dialogue between a philosopher and a young man. Adlerian psychology enjoys a broad base of support in Europe and the United States, and and presents simple and straightforward answers to the philosophical question: How can one be happy? Adlerian psychology might hold the key. Reading this book could change your life. Now, let us accompany the young man and venture beyond the door. On the outskirts of the thousand-year-old city lived a philosopher who taught that the world was simple and that happiness was within the reach of every man instantly. A young man who was dissatisfied with life went to visit this philosopher to get to the heart of the matter. This youth found the world a chaotic mass of contradictions, and in his anxious eyes, any notion of happiness was completely absurd. Introduction. Youth, I want to ask you once again, you do believe that the world is in all the ways a simple place? Philosopher. Yes, this world is astonishingly simple and life itself is too. Youth. So, is this your idealistic argument or is it your workable theory? What I mean is, are you saying that any issues you or I face in life are simple too? Philosopher. Yes, of course. Youth. All right then. But let me explain why I have come to visit you today. Firstly, I want to debate this with you until I am satisfied. And then, if possible, I want to get you to retract this theory. Philosopher. Youth. Because I have heard all about your reputation, the world is that there is an eccentric philosopher living here whose teaching and arguments are hard to ignore. Namely, that people can change, that the world is simple, and that everyone can be happy. That is the sort of thing I have here. But I find that view totally unacceptable. So I wanted to confirm things for myself. If I find anything you say completely off, I will point it out and then correct you. But will you find that annoying? Philosopher. No, I would welcome the opportunity. I've been hoping to hear from a young person like just like you. Earn to learn as much as possible from what you can tell me. Youth, thanks. I do not intend to dismiss. Okay, here I think I'm thinking of can we do the role play? Somebody can read with me. I think there is a lot of philosopher and youth. Anyone can join with
Yeah,
me and
yeah, that's a
play a
great idea.
philosopher.
Yeah, can do that. Yeah.
I can play a youth role because I think we don't need to repeat again and again. Audience, I can make it differentiate when I'm reading one character and another one is leading another character. Anybody interested
Okay. Yeah.
to join with me?
Yeah. Anyone?
I can do that.
Anjali.
Okay.
Hi,
Thanks,
yeah, Rajesh.
thanks Anjali. Can you
Yeah,
please start with okay? Which role play you want to play? Philosopher or youth?
philosopher. Yes, yes, philosopher. Fine.
Okay, please. You start with that philosopher, then I can start with.
No, I would welcome the opportunity. I have been hoping to hear from a young person, one minute, just like you, and to learn as much as possible. Okay, I don't know on the mobile. It's difficult. Sorry.
Yeah, I think everyone. I think okay, okay, yeah.
As much as possible from what you can tell me. Shall I repeat?
Thanks. No, no, no. It's okay. Thanks. I do not intend to dismiss you out of hand. I will take your views into consideration and then look at the possibilities that present themselves. The world is simple and life is simple too. If there is anything in this is that might contain truth, it would be life from a child's point of view. Children do not have any obvious duties like paying taxes or going to work. They are protected by their parents and society and can spend days free from care. They can imagine a future that goes on forever and do whatever they want. They don't have to see grim reality. They are blindfolded. So, to them, the world must have a simple form. However, as a child matures to adulthood, the world reveals its true nature. Very shortly, the child will know how things really are and what he is really allowed to do. His opinion will alter, and all he will see impossibility. His romantic view will end and be replaced by cruel realism.
I see. This is this is an interesting view. Oh,
That's
sorry.
not
That
yeah. That's not all. Once grow up, the child will get entangled in all kinds of complicated relationships with people and have all kinds of responsibilities thrust upon him. That is how life will be, both at work and at home, and in any role he assumes in public life. It goes without saying that he will become aware of the which various issues in society that he couldn't understand as a child, including discrimination, war, and inequality, and he will not be able to ignore them. Am I wrong?
it sounds fine to me. Please continue.
Well, if we were still living at a time when religion held sway, salvation might be an option because the teachings of the divine were everything to us. All we had to do was obey them and consequently have little to think about. But religion has lost its power, and now there is no real belief in God. With nothing to rely on, everyone is filled with anxiety and doubt. Everyone is living for themselves. That is how society is today. So please tell me, give these realities and in the light of what I have said, can you still say the world is simple?
There is no change in what I say. The word is simple and life is simple too.
How? Anyone can see that it's a chaotic mass of contradictions.
That is not because the word is complicated. It's because you are making the word complicated.
I am.
None of us live in an objective word, but instead in a subjective word that we ourselves have given meaning to. The word you see is different from the one I see, and it's impossible to share your word with anyone else.
How can that be? You and I are living in the same country, the same time, and we are seeing the same things, aren't we?
You look rather young to me, but have you ever drunk well water that has just been drawn?
Well, water. It was a long time ago. But that was a well at my grandmother's house in the countryside. I remember enjoying the fresh, cold water drawn from that well on a hot summer's day.
You may know this, but well water stays at pretty much the same temperature all year round at about 60 degrees. That is an objective number. It stays the same to everyone who measures it. But when you drink the water in the summer, it seems cool, and when you drink the same water in the winter, it seems warm. Even though it's the same water at the same 60 degrees according to the thermometer, the way it seems depends on whether it's summer or winter.
So it's an illusion caused by the change in the environment?
No, it's not an illusion. You see, to you in that moment, the coolness or warmth of the well water is an undeniable fact. That's what I mean to live in your subjective world. There is no escape from your own subjectivity. At present, the word seems complicated and mysterious to you, but if you change, the word will appear more simple. The issue is not about how the word is, but about how you are.
How I am?
Right. It's as if you see the world through dark glasses, so naturally everything seems dark. But if that is the case, instead of lamenting about the word's darkness, you could just remove the glasses. Perhaps the word will appear terribly bright to you then, and you will involuntarily shut your eyes. Maybe you will want the glasses back on, but you can even take them off in the first place. Can you look directly at the word? Do you have the courage?
Courage?
Yes, it's a matter of courage.
Well, alright. There are tons of objections I would like to raise, but I get the feeling it I get the feeling it would be better to go into them later. I would like to confirm that you are saying people can change, right?
Of course, people can change. They can also find happiness.
Everyone, without exception?
No exceptions whatsoever.
Now you are talking big. This is getting interesting. I'm going to start arguing with you immediately.
I'm not going to run away or hide anything. Let's take our time debating this. So, your position is people cannot change.
That's right. They can't change. Actually, I'm suffering myself because of not being able to change.
And at the same time, you wish you could.
Of course, if I could change, if I could start life all over again, I would gladly fall to my knees before you. But it could turn out that you will be down on your knees before me.
You remind me of myself during my own student days, when I was a hard blooded young man searching for the truth, tries, sing about calling on philosophers.
Yes, I am searching for the truth about life.
I have never felt the need to take in disciples, and I have never done so. However, since becoming a student of Greek philosophy, and then coming into contact with another philosophy, I have been waiting for a long time for a visit from a young person like you.
Another philosophy? What would that be?
My study is just over there. Go into it. It's going to be a long night. I will go and make some hot coffee.
Okay, it's going well.
It was
Wow,
It's
nice.
really
wonderful
fantastic.
experience. It was beautiful listening to you both.
Rajesh, you are in full form.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just came out from my run that I
It
was
just it
fully
just
busy.
became like a dramatic. We are just experiencing some
Yeah,
audio
yeah.
drama.
Shall we continue? Anybody would be interested?
Anybody
Yeah.
else wants to take over?
Anyone want to? Otherwise, you're going good. Like actually, anyone wants to read and join any one of them or both of them, like any two people, or let them continue.
I can join after 5 minutes.
Okay, fine. Okay, let's
Okay.
continue.
Who would like to accompany Deepa then? Like as the both of you, Rajesh and Anjali.
Let Rajesh ji continue. He is in full form. Yeah, I'm enjoying his expressions.
Okay, the
I think Suman is
philosopher
there.
will say.
No, no,
No
Suman is
problem.
there.
Yeah. Okay.
Suman has
Suman is there.
written
Okay.
Yeah,
her name.
Suman
Suman and
and
Deepa ma'am
Deepa
can
might go
continue.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
yeah. Let's go till 7:30 sometimes. The first
The
night,
first one.
deny trauma.
Mansi, scroll it to the left little bit. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
clear. Yeah, fine. Thank you.
The young man entered the study and sat slouched in a chair. Why was he so determined to reject the philosopher's theories? His reasons were abundantly clear. He lacked self confidence, and ever since childhood, this had been compounded by deep seated feelings of inferiority with regard to his personal and academic backgrounds, as well as his physical appearance. Perhaps, as a result, he tended to be excessively self conscious when people looked at him. Mostly, he seemed incapable of truly appreciating other people's happiness and was constantly pitying himself. To him, the philosopher's claims were nothing more than the stuff of fantasy. Okay, the unknown third giant. Giant,
Giant.
right? Okay,
Giant.
giant. Okay, not giant. A moment ago, you used the words another philosophy, but I have heard that your specialty is in Greek philosophy.
Yes, Greek philosophy has been central to my life ever since I was a teenager. The great intellectual figures, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. I'm translating a work by Plato at the moment, and I expect to spend the rest of my life studying classical Greek thought.
Well, then what is this other philosophy?
It is a completely new school of psychology that was established by the Austrian psychiatrist Alfred Adler at the beginning of the 20th century. It is generally referred to as Adlerian psychology.
Huh, I never would have imagined that a specialist in Greek philosophy would be interested in psychology.
I am not very familiar with paths taken by other school of psychology. However, I think it is fair to say that Adlerian psychology is clearly in line with Greek philosophy and that it is a proper field of study.
I have been passing knowledge of the psychology of Freud and Jung, a fascinating field.
Yes, Freud and Jung are both renowned. Adler was one of the original core members of the Vienna Psychoanalytic Society, which was led by Freud. His ideas were countered to Freud's, and he split from the group and proposed an individual psychology based on his own original theories.
Individual psychology, another odd term. So Adler was a disciple of Freud's.
No, he was not. The misconception is common. We must dispel it. For one thing, Adler and Freud were relatively close in age, and the relationship they formed as researchers was founded upon equal footing. In this respect, Adler was very different from Jung, who revered Freud as a father figure. Though psychology primarily tends to be associated with Freud and Jung, Adler is recognized throughout the rest of the world, along with Freud and Jung, as one of the three giants in this field.
I see. I should have studied it more.
I suppose it's only natural you haven't heard of Adler. As he himself said, there might come a time when one will not remember my name. One might even have forgotten that our school ever existed. Then he went on to say that it didn't matter. The implication being that if his school was forgotten, it would be because his ideas had outgrown the bounds of a single area of scholarship and become commonplace and a feeling shared by everyone. For example, Dale Carnegie, who wrote the international bestseller How to Win Friends and Influence People and How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, referred to Adler as a great psychologist who devoted his life to researching humans and their latent abilities. The influence of Adler's thinking is clearly present throughout his writings. And in Stephanie Covey's The Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, much of the content closely resembles Adler's ideas. In other words, rather than being a strict area of scholarship, Adlerian psychology is accepted as a realization, a culmination of truths and of human understanding. Yet, Adler's ideas are said to have been 100 years ahead of their time, and even today we have not managed to fully comprehend them. That is how truly groundbreaking they are.
So your theories are developed not from Greek psychology initially, but from the viewpoint of Alderian psychology.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, that's one more thing I would like to ask about your basic stance. Are you a philosopher? Are you a psychologist?
I am a philosopher, a person who lives philosophy. And for me, Adlerian psychology is a form of thought that is in line with Greek philosophy, and that is philosophy.
All right, then let's get started. Okay, Deepa ma'am and Suman ma'am, are you ready?
Yeah. Yeah. And Saurabh wants to read. Saurabh can play the youth role now. And
Yeah.
Okay,
if he's wanting to read.
Yeah.
Saurabh, will you?
there are
So we
two
are doing
people.
role play today.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
That's fun.
Why
Suman,
people
you
can.
take up the philosopher after Deepa, after some
Okay.
time. Deepa, give her the opportunity.
Yeah, if anyone else wants to take the reading, you can take it. Not a problem.
Okay.
Suman, you want to do it?
Yeah, then
Anybody?
Saurabh and Suman, you both can go now.
Yeah, yeah. You go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. You both
Five
want to
Yes.
take up?
seconds.
Uh,
Go
yes,
on, go
yes,
on.
yes, yes.
Saurabh, you'll have to read the youth lines and Suman
Yeah,
will read the philosopher lines. Yeah. Go on,
sure,
go on.
sure. First, let's plan the points of discussion. You say people can change. Then you take it a step further, saying that everyone can find happiness.
Yes, everyone, without exception.
So let's save the discussion about happiness for later and address change first. Everyone wishes they could change. I know I do, and I am sure anyone you might stop and ask on the street would agree. But why would everyone feel they want to change? There's only one answer because they cannot change. If it were easy for people to change, they wouldn't spend so much time wishing they could. No matter how much they wish it, people cannot change. And that's why there are always so many people getting taken in by new religions and dubious self help seminars and any preaching on everyone can change. Am I wrong?
Well, in response, I'd ask, why are you so adamant that people can't change?
Here's why. I have a friend, a guy who has shut himself in his room for several years. He wishes he could go out and even think he'd like to have a job if possible. So he wants to change the way he is. I say this as his friend. I say this as his friend, but I assure you, he is a very serious person. Who could be of great use to society. Except that he is afraid to leave his room. If he takes even a single step outside, he suffers palpitations and his arm and legs shake. It's a kind of neurosis of panic, I suppose. He wants to change, but he can't.
What do you think? The reason is that he can't go out.
I'm not really sure. It could be because of his relationship with his parents or because he was bullied at school or work. He might have experienced a kind of trauma from something like that. But then it could be the opposite. Maybe he was too pampered as a child and can't face reality. I just don't know, and I can't pry on the past of his family or his situation.
So you are saying there were incidents in your friend's past that became the cause of trauma or something similar, and as a result, he can't go out anymore.
Of course, before an effect, there is a cause. There is nothing mysterious about that.
Then perhaps the cause of his not being able to go out anymore lies in the home environment during his childhood. He was abused by his parents and reached adulthood without ever feeling love. That is why he is afraid of interacting with people and why he can't go out. It is feasible, isn't it?
Yes, it's entirely feasible. I'd imagine that that would be the really challenging.
And then you say before and in fact there is a cause, or in other words, in other words, who I am now, the effect is determined by occurrences in the past, the causes. Do I understand correctly?
You do.
So, if here and now of everyone in the world is due to their past incidents, according to you, would not things turn out very strangely? Don't you see? Everyone who has grown up abused by his or her parents would have to suffer the same effects as your friend and become a recluse, or the whole idea just doesn't hold water. That is, if the past actually determines the present, and the causes control the effects.
What exactly are you getting at?
If we focus only on past causes and try to explain things solely through cause and effect, we end up with determinism, because what this says is that our present and our future have already been decided by past occurrences and are unalterable. Am I wrong?
So you're saying that the past doesn't matter?
Yes, that is the standpoint of Adlerian psychology.
I see. The point of conflict seems a bit clearer. But look, if we go by your version, wouldn't that ultimately mean that there's no reason my friend can't go out anymore? Because you're saying the past incidents don't matter. But I'm sorry, that's completely out of the question. There has to be some reason behind his seclusion. There has to be, or there'd be no explanation.
Indeed, there would be no explanation. So, in Adlerian psychology, we do not think about past causes but rather about present goals.
Present goals?
Your friend is insecure, so he can't go out. Think about it the other way around. He doesn't want to go out, so he is creating a state of anxiety.
Hmm?
Think about it this way: your friend had the goal of not going out beforehand, and he has been manufacturing a state of anxiety and fear as a means to achieve that goal. In Adlerian psychology, this is called teleology.
You're joking. My friend has imagined his anxiety and fear. So would you go so far as saying that my friend is just pretending to be sick?
He is not pretending to be sick. The anxiety and fear your friend is feeling are real. on occasion, he might also suffer from migraines and violent stomach cramps. However, these two are symptoms that he has created in order to achieve the goal of not going out.
That's not true. No way. That's too depressing.
No, this is the difference between etiology, the study of causation, and teleology, the study of purpose of a given phenomena rather than its cause. Everything you have been telling me is based in etiology. As long as we stay in etiology, we will not take a single step forward.
So if you're going to state things so forcibly, I'd like a thorough explanation to begin with. What is the difference you refer to between etiology and teleology?
Suppose you have got a cold with a high fever and you go to see the doctor. Then suppose the doctor says the reason for your sickness is that yesterday when you went out, you were not dressed properly and that is why you caught a cold. Now, would you be satisfied with that?
Of course, I wouldn't. It wouldn't matter to me what the reason was, the way I was dressed, or because it was raining or whatever. It's the symptoms. The fact that I'm suffering with high fever now, that would matter to me. If he's a doctor, I'd need him to treat me by prescribing medicine, giving shots, or taking whatever specialized measures are necessary.
Yet those who take an etiological stance, including most counselors and psychiatrists, would argue that what you were suffering from stemmed from such and such cause in the past, and would then end up just consoling you by saying, "So you see, it is not your fault." The argument concerning so called traumas is typical of etiology.
Wait a minute, are you denying the existence of trauma altogether?
Yes, I am adamantly.
What? Aren't you, or I guess I should say Adler, an authority on psychology?
In Adlerian psychology, trauma is definitively denied. This was a very new and revolutionary point. Certainly, the Freudian view of trauma is fascinating. Freud's idea is that a person's psychic wounds, traumas, cause his or her present unhappiness. When you treat a person's life as a vast narrative, there is an easily understandable casuality and sense of dramatic development that creates strong impressions and is extremely attractive. But Adler, in denial of the trauma argument, states the following: no experience is in itself a cause of our success or failure. We do not suffer from the shock of our experiences, the so called trauma, but instead we make out of them whatever suits our purposes. We are not determined by our experiences, but the meaning we give them is self determining.
So we make of them whatever suits our purposes.
Exactly. Focus on the point Adler is making here when he refers to the self being determined not by our experiences themselves, but by the meaning we give them. He is not saying that the experience of a horrible calamity or abuse during childhood or other such incidents have no influence on forming a personality. Their influences are strong, but the important thing is that nothing is actually determined by those influences. We determine our own lives according to the meaning we give to those past experiences. Your life is not something that someone gives you, but something you choose yourself, and you are the one who decides how you live.
Okay, so you're saying that my friend has shut himself in his room because he has actually chose to live this way. This is serious. Believe me, it is not what he wants. If anything, it's something he was forced to choose because of circumstances. He had no choice other than to become who he is now.
No, even supposing that your friend actually thinks, I can't fit into society, because I was abused by my parents. It is still because it is his goal to think that way.
What sort of goal is that?
The immediate thing would probably be the goal of not going out. He is creating anxiety and fear as his reasons to stay inside.
But why doesn't he want to go out? Where is the problem? Where the problem resides?
Well, think of it from the parent's view. How would you feel if your child were shut up in a room?
I'd be worried, of course. I would want help him to return to the society. I'd want him to be well, and I'd wonder if I have raised him improperly. I'm sure I would be seriously concerned and try in every way imaginable to help him back to a normal existence.
That is where the problem is.
Where?
If I stay in my room all the time without ever going out, my parents will worry. I can get all of my parents' attention focused on me. They will be extremely careful around me and always handle me with kid gloves. On the other hand, if I take even one step out of the house, I'll just become part of a faceless mass whom no one pays attention to. I will be surrounded by people I don't know and just end up average or less than average, and no one will take special care of me any longer. Such stories about reclusive people are not uncommon.
In that case, following your line of reasoning, my friend has accomplished his goal and is satisfied with his current situation.
I doubt he is satisfied, and I am sure he is not happy either. But there is no doubt that he is also taking action in line with his goal. This is not something that is unique to your friend. Every one of us is living in line with some goal. That is what teleology tells us.
No way, I reject that as completely unacceptable. Look, my friend is.
Listen, this discussion won't go anywhere if we just keep talking about your friend. It will turn into a trial in absentia, and that would be hopeless. Let's use another example.
Well, how about this one? It's my own story about something I experienced yesterday.
I missed the line.
Yeah, the last one. Oh, I'm all
Okay,
ears.
okay. Oh, I am all ears.
Should
I
we
think,
stop here? Maybe. Yeah.
yeah. Time is sound for
Yeah,
Kishore. Let's stop and
yeah. This was very interesting, but yeah, I loved it. Thank you.
how many pages
Thank you
of
for
this
the
book?
idea, Rajesh.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. We can open up for discussion now. Yeah.
Okay,
We
I just want
covered
to
like
ask
20
people how many
pages.
of you are interested in philosophy in this group? I think today we are reading. I think some people have a genre of philosophy, a different genre. How many of you are interested in philosophy?
I am.
Anjali, what about others? Okay, I can give me easy answer, easy question. How many of you not interested? So those
I
who are
am
not,
actually not so interested in philosophy, but I'm interested in psychology. But
okay.
yeah, yeah, I'm a little aware of where they're going. But yes, this is very interesting the way they're taking us.
Yes, I am
Yeah.
also interested in philosophy.
Yeah, I'm interested in both philosophy and psychology.
I'm interested to the extent of understanding myself and my surroundings. So,
Yeah.
not getting into the depth of reasoning why man is there or what happens, but yeah, to make an understanding of how I can, take it to my advantage and
Many
know
times
myself better.
whenever many times
Yeah.
whenever I try to read or something understanding about psychology, I think it always went above my head, over my head. Sometimes they use that words and the terminology and the logic. So many times I don't understand. That's the real fact. But I think this seems to be interesting. Yeah, I think this book may help me to get into understand more about psychology and philosophies. Yes, let's open today's discussions.
So in my view, now both psychology and philosophy are kind of little complicated to explain and understand. And
Mm.
and this is an interesting book where they're covering both of them together and debating on them. So that's very interesting. I was not expecting this. I just had heard the name of the book and found it interesting. So I was curious about it. But this is next level curiosity for me now. I'm enjoying it actually. And the way you have made us read it, like a debate, that has made it even more interesting to listen and go through. It was a good experience, like both of you being there today, and that was also a nice thing where we had literally two youths talking, like reading out the youth part. So yeah.
Yeah, if it would have been that the normal reading, I think by this time some of us might have slept. Even I might have slept
No, no, no,
while
actually,
reading.
that really brought a lot of fun to the
Yeah,
reading,
yeah.
yes.
Role play
Yeah.
and reading was good.
And even for the listeners as such, like us, all of us as listeners, it was very interesting to hear. So yeah, okay. Now let's talk about the topic that was discussed and the concepts and whatever we would like to share about it. Anyone?
Yeah, but I got from this that life is simple. Actually, it is we ourselves that make it complicated. Whatever problems we face in life, they are just because of our perspective or how we interpret them.
Yeah, that is. I think they're coming to that point yet, but yes, that's the beginning.
In the initial dialogues, it was just when the young and the philosopher they started with the same discussion that as he wanted the solution of the problems, but the philosopher says that life is simple. It is because of different perspectives that we make it uh, difficult or challenging.
Yeah, even I like the part when he was explaining about the boy was asking how come the life will be common for everyone. Okay, the life is the world should be common to everyone. How it differs to persons, it's completely depends on the person. I think how we approach it. I think it's not necessarily the one situation or one place. I think if you're watching a movie, maybe some people maybe like that movie, some people may not like movie. Both are watching the same theater at the same time, but the differs. I think both have different opinions and different thoughts and different takeaways. Likewise, the same environment give us different experience. How we approach and how we take it, that make a difference in accepting the matter.
Yeah, the example of well water was given that how the water is of same temperature, but in
Hmm.
summers we feel it different, in winters we feel it different.
Hmm. Deepa, ma'am.
What held relevance for me was also the fact about the change. So they said that change is something that uh, you can make, and if you are uh, in the status quo, that is because you want to stay there. And how the environment works, I recollect one story wherein mm, uh, two kids had the same alcoholic father, and one of them was a teetotaler and the other was an alcoholic. And when asked, he said, "Because my father was an alcoholic, that is why I am an alcoholic." And when they asked the other child, he said, "Because my father was an alcoholic, I'm a teetotaler." So it means that the environment does not necessarily, the change, the momentum for making yourself something different is on you only. The onus as well as the accountability for it is on you, and it is possible. It is just your perception of things, how you want them to frame your world and be an individual. That is what is, imperative.
In
Yeah,
fact, yeah, I also agree a lot with the Adlerian philosophy in a way that he explained, right? Where we are trying to be victims of our own causation. So one example I can see from my recent life experiences. So a lot of people are losing jobs, in, for example, in today's layoffs and all that news that you might be hearing. I was one of those. I have few friends again who have similar experience, but how each and every person is looking at it makes all the difference. So we can look at it in a way like, okay, I was talking to one of the friend who is right now looking out for jobs. So he was telling that, okay, there are like 1 lakh people who have been laid off, who are looking for jobs right now. It is very difficult to get anything, and so it is like going into the cause part of it. I can't do anything about it because so the companies are doing such negative things about us. They're laying us off, and now there are not enough roles to get hired for. But I mean, I typically used to give this example to myself as a motivation to maybe look out for jobs. That okay, I need just one job. I mean, it doesn't matter how many people are looking for it or how many roles are available. I just need that one right one. So let me keep looking for that instead of worrying about who did it, why he did it, and whether it was legitimate or not. Because that obviously leads nowhere. It's similar to that doctor saying that such and such things cause cold. It won't help the patient. He will still have the cold. He still has to cure his cold. So yeah, I mean, I think I totally relate to that Adlerian philosophy in that way.
Hi everyone. I'll just give my two bit now. Um, it's just that so far, mostly the world has been following Carl Jung's philosophy and Freudian philosophy. So Adler, although he was part of them, but he deviates and he gives a different perception. Carl Jung and Freudian psychology is based on ego, id, ego, superego, and how our past has an effect on our present, as Sunita and Saurabh and everyone has been stating. But it is not necessary, is what Adler says. We can perceive things in a different way. Our mind has the capacity to perceive things in a different way. We don't have to do the blame game, like I was traumatized in my childhood, like an alcoholic son, no, two sons, one can be a teetotaler, one can be a alcoholic. It's both is based on how they perceive it. And as Saurabh also just now said, a lot of layoffs and things are getting disrupted. So it is up to us whether we blame our future and the present on those things which are happening, or we recreate, we reinterpret, and we come out of that. I'll just give a current example, a couple of examples I'll give you. Right now in Hyderabad, no, all the internet services completely disrupted. It is affecting the IT, the common man, businesses, everything is getting affected because of one incident which happened on Janmashtami. The cable wire, the current power wires and the internet wires got entangled, and many people got electrocuted during that celebration, and 5 people died on the spot. So immediately the government, what it has done is it has cut all the internet cables. And right now, I am, one of the lucky ones for whom this Wi-Fi thing and my what do you call the phone internet is working. The mobile net is working, but for many people, even that is not working. So, due to this disruption, either we can decide that "Aro chutti hai and it's raining, it's monsoon, and it's dangerous to step outside, and nothing can be done due to this internet." I can take that as an excuse or a blame, and I can sit quiet and not do my work. Or I have an option of rethinking, recreating, and inventing another way of surviving, wherein I circumvent this requirement for the internet and I continue my work. So, this is an opportunity for me to do something different. So neither go the trodden path, the beaten path, or create a new path, or create a new way. So that is what Adler is saying. It's up to us whether you want to, whether I want to shut myself in the room or I want to peek out. I can't blame my parents or my present or past circumstances. It's an opportunity for me to recreate and to come up with something new. And another example which I want to give is, as I said, right now in Hyderabad, it's we are in full monsoon. It's raining. Obviously, with this pneumonia, dengue, all that is also happening. At the same time, where I live, and there is a traffic jam, the roads are broken, accidents are happening. All that is on one side. On the other side, if I look at nature, this is the time I'm seeing all the roses blooming, all the flowers, lots of greenery, and pollution has come down. mm. And the place where I'm living, we live in a gated community, 65 acres, about 400 families live here. All have their own garden space and all. We are literally in a resort environment right now. It's all, in a hill station, how beautiful it would be. I can perceive it that way and make use of, rewiring myself into positivity, and look at all the greenery and how the earth is so fertile. In spite of the rain, I'm seeing lot of, greenery, lot of vegetables and flowers, everything blooming. And I can overcome the gloominess of these rainy days, wherein my for the past 2 weeks I'm not able to swim, but I'm able to do other activities. I'm able to walk. I'm able to go for the indoor badminton games and whatnot. So whenever there is a disruption, when there is a change happening, instead of blaming and cussing and sitting in one place, it is a time for us to reinvent, recreate, and look at things from a different perspective. I think that is one of the bottom lines of Adler's, psychology. Whereas the other two guys, Young and Freud, they were more about, you know, which most of the world was following. Now, gradually, we are shifting our gear, we are shifting our perception and going towards Adler. Instead of blaming, we are thinking about a new opportunity right now. So that is how I interpret this. And I think I read this book couple of years back or last year. I don't remember exactly. Another group. So today I feel that is how it is. So thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Anjali, you want to say something? Yeah.
Yeah, Mansi, this was a nice read actually. See, when Rajesh ji asked about philosophy, now, so first of all, I think the author has made it clear what is the difference in philosophy and psychology. As Suman also pointed out, the well water example. So psychology is the truth, what it exactly what how the things exist, and a logical reasoning is through philosophy. But psychology is how we are perceiving it or how we are interpreting it in our own terms or language. So this is what is the basic thing, and the focus is uh, like most of the time we try to take make out the meaning out of a situation based on the past experiences, which we also call the biases and the prejudices. And then we try to go into a zone, a comfort zone, whatever suits us best. The friend's example, as he was like sitting inside the home, he doesn't want to come out, maybe because either he was pampered by the parents or he was finding it more easy to like live a life where he is not facing unknown faces outside. Going stepping out of the house would be like interacting with unknown people or a new challenges. So he thought this is a better place. How he has driven a reason for himself is his own view, but we cannot generalize it, and that is the personal thing. This I like the concept of this etiology and teleology, that cause everything. Now we are giving a reason that past in the past we have experienced this, so now the future should be based on that. That should be avoided, because present is what you have to look at the goals, what exactly you need. For everyone, the meaning of a particular situation or a incident is different. Six or 9. That is one more example I can think of. So it is different from from your viewpoint and from my viewpoint, whatever a situation, whatever a incident had happened. And so it has to be taken like, okay, learning experience, move ahead. Don't carry it in your mind. Don't make it fix, and don't base the goals. Don't make your future based on this thing. Let it be an experience and move ahead. So basically, with the example of philosophy, I think we'll be going deeper into understanding that focus on the facts, focus on logical reasoning rather than on your own mindset, the psychology. So it could be what is it called, confusing, it could be deceptive, it could be wrong meaning making. So better go for a logical reasoning for everything and understand what it holds for you, what learning it holds for you.
I have a
That-
question. Theology means uh, the present, and ideology means that experience based on the experience. Have I got it correct?
Etiology, 1 minute. Mansi, you can just show that now. Otherwise,
No, I actually
etiology
closed.
is
Yeah,
etiology is
whatever.
living in the causes. When you are living in the cause, when you are living in the past, that okay, this incident happened, so I am behaving in this manner. And you continue to do that. And then teleology is like finding a meaning, why it happened, and what is the thing I should pick from that incident. That is teleology. This is my understanding. Anybody else can elaborate. So
Yeah, I
etiology
don't
is
know.
living in past. Yeah, that is living, study of living of the past causes. Why we are behaving in psychology, it is like why we are behaving in this manner. When you connect it with the past experiences, that is etiology. So
So I'll
psychology
just
is based on that, na, behavioral science, and it is like the study of human behavior. Why the person is behaving in this manner? So they just go into the past, all that thing, whatever happened, you based on that the person is behaving in this manner today. So it is based on the causes.
yes, yes. So this is how I connected with the reading today. So so this is basically a difference between therapy and coaching also. So normally what happens, like therapy, if you are aware of, it's mostly focuses on the past and what has happened, and what as the author was telling today, right? Like as the it was in the conversation, it is more about the past and what went wrong and what happened, and it focuses on the traumas and all of that. But sometimes the drawback of that is that many times it just keeps dwelling on the past itself, and it doesn't focus on the future. Whereas coaching and other things, like these things help you to they actually force you to think about the future and all of that. And 2 3 points that highlighted for me, like when we were reading this. So one is the positive intention, as we know in NLP, and even the chunking down, right? So what I personally thought as we went through this, and this was I felt like some places it was too direct also. So because it was a dialogue, and as we were just listening, it was easy to even digest it. But if someone says that, or if someone points that to a person individual as such, it might become the person might go on a defensive mode, is what I felt. Like it was too direct at some places, but it was nice to witness that. So I felt what I personally felt was like I think a right balance is important. Sometimes, like as they gave the doctor's example, right? The reason of the fever or cough. It's also sometimes important to understand, because that helps us identify the pattern and the root cause of the pattern sometimes, because as they came to that point, right, where they came to the positive intention only after, like here they came very directly, but when it happens with a person and we are really not aware of the positive intention behind our actions many a times, like every one of us. So when we dig down, when we go into the depth and we can identify that pattern, or why maybe we are actually indulging in that particular pattern, that becomes like a breakthrough. So, and that, as even the realization of it helps in the change, is what I understand. So I think that's how, like, when he pointed out, right, like, he got that attention of his parents, which he actually wanted, which he actually craved for, that child's example. So that is what I realized, and that is what I understood, and that struck me today. So this was interesting, and it helped me. And even the questioning part, right, like, the way the philosopher was questioning. So that is also how we are taught about NLP, that chunking down, chunking up, and things like, where we how we go to the root of the things, not just assuming but questioning. So
Right.
that part just got highlighted for me today. And it is interesting. I'm looking forward to the further reading, because now they're taking up another topic, right? So that will help us understand the concepts in much more depth again, like with different examples.
What you just said, Mansi, I'll just add a few things to that. See, you were talking about the cause. So there is cause and effect. That is the complete thing. So when we are trying to understand a particular incident, it has to be taken in a whole. What was the cause and what was the effect of that? That really matters. Sometimes the effect is very good. If we study well, we score well. Similarly, if we eat wrong, wrong eating gives a stomach disorder. So, cause and effect both have to be studied. We cannot just stick to the causes, and that learning has to be carried forward in the future, not just the fear. So, that fear is something that holds us back. It has to be a learning. It should be framed in that interpretation should be in the form of learning. That what was the effect of that, what caused it, and what was the effect, outcome of that, and then it will be easier for us to interpret any condition, any situation.
Yes, yes, I agree. In fact, especially sometimes when we are stuck in any particular patterns, this helps, like going to the root and identifying the real reason behind it, helps us get out of it. So that's what I thought of, like, and I think this Adrian philosophy, psychology, is somewhere around that only. I actually heard this word for the very first time. So I was not aware of it, but I'm now interested and curious. So let's see. So yeah. So yeah. Anyone else wants to add something? Any further? It was very reflective, na? Like, just listening to the conversation was like experience in itself. Okay, I think we are done then. So then let's call it a day, and we'll continue tomorrow. Looking forward to have all of you, so we can have this communicative kind of reading again tomorrow, where two people read together. It was interesting.
Yeah, hopefully I can read tomorrow. It's very interesting. Thank you.
Yeah. We'll count you for the reading then tomorrow, and whoever else might just join you. So yeah, it went very well today. So hopefully, if the guys are there tomorrow, they can play the youth role again. Let's
It
see.
was fun actually because otherwise
Yeah,
na, we feel sleepy most of the time.
yeah.
It
Actually,
becomes
that was very
boring.
interesting. Very, very much fun. I would have never thought of it, honestly. Thanks to Rajesh, he came
Rajesh,
up with that
yeah, it
idea.
was a good idea. He has left, already left.
Yeah. Okay, okay. Chalo then. Thank you.
Okay then.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye. Have a
Thank
great
See
day.
you.
you all
Bye.
tomorrow. Bye bye. Hi, Saurabh.